Hello, and welcome to Chapter 13, Section 3 screencast. This talks about the muscular system. You guys should be in your books on page 526, and this goes into 530. So please follow along in your book. You guys should have your book open. Follow along, pause the video anytime you need. Okay, so this talks about the muscular system, all the muscles in your body. Oops. Now, there are two types of muscles in your body. There's what we call involuntary muscles, and there are voluntary muscles. The involuntary muscles are not under your conscious control. You don't think about these. You don't think about these. Things like breathing, things like your heart. And it's a good thing that your heart is a part of your involuntary muscles, because if you had to think about it beating all the time, you wouldn't get very much rest, or you wouldn't get very much sleep. The voluntary muscles, these are muscles that are under your control. Okay? Some examples of this include like when you guys run, when you guys smile, when you guys are writing, taking notes, which you guys should be right now, smiling. These voluntary muscles are mainly your skeletal muscles. These are your skeletal muscles. Okay? Oops, I forgot an E in there. These are your skeletal muscles. These are your voluntary muscles. These allow you guys to do stuff. So you have two types of muscles, involuntary and voluntary. Involuntary, you don't think about. Voluntary, you do think about, and they're under your conscious control. Things like your skeletal muscles.
All right, there are three types of muscle tissue. The first type is skeletal muscle, and if you remember from what Mr. Knox said, skeletal muscle is voluntary. And this type of muscle, it is attached to the bones and it tires quickly, but it also reacts quickly. So when you want to catch the softball or the baseball headed straight for your head, you can do that. Skeletal muscle is also sometimes called striated muscle. Striated means it's banded or lined, and you can kind of see over here why it's called that. So those white pieces in there are tendons, and tendons are attached to the end of each muscle, and so the bands of muscle and tendon makes it striated or lined. Cardiac muscle, remember, that is involuntary, so you don't choose whether or not your heart beats. It doesn't get tired, which is a good thing, and it's only found in the heart. So your heart muscle, your cardiac muscle, it contracts repeatedly, and it is also striated. And you can see those little bands of the pink and the white. The third type of muscle tissue is smooth muscle that is also involuntary, and it is found in places like your stomach, so inside many of your internal organs. And this type of muscle reacts more slowly than the other two. So pause the video and summarize these three types of skeletal muscles in your notebook. Hopefully you paused, you wrote down the three types, where they're found.
Okay, tendons. Tendons attach your muscles to the bones, to your skeletal system. So you can see tendons right here, little white rubbery connective tissue also here, attaching your muscles to your bones. You may have taken a bite out of a drumstick and then you feel that rubbery stuff that comes off with it. That would be a tendon. Okay. Okay, so if itis means inflammation, what do you suppose tendinitis is? Think about that. The thing about your skeletal muscles is that they can only contract, they can only pull, they cannot relax on their own. So they have to work in pairs, they have to work like a team. So when you want to pull your arm up, you can see that the bicep contracts, it pulls on the bone. And then when you want to lower your arm, the bicep can't really relax on its own, so the tricep on the opposite side will contract and pull the arm back down. So they work in opposite pairs. If you only had biceps and not triceps, once you lift your arm up, you'd be walking around like this for the rest of your life because you wouldn't be able to put it back down. Okay, can you think of anywhere else in your body where the muscles have to work in pairs besides your arm?
I didn't know that was the end.